Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. My name is Julian, and in today's episode, we're continuing the series of episodes that I've been making talking about each individual NHL team, talking about their lines, their noteworthy players, and whether I think you should consider drafting those players. This episode's obviously about the San Jose Sharks. Now, like in past videos, whose jersey do you think is behind me? This one's not too difficult, guys, but go ahead and let me know in the comments who you think it is. Now, before we jump into it, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you do want to take your support to the next level, the link to my Patreon is down in the description. Let's jump into it now, and let's start with the San Jose Sharks lines that I'm projecting for this year. And on the top line, William Eklund, Logan Couture, and Timo Meier. On the second line, Lindblom, Tomas Hertl, and Alexander Barabanov. On the third line, Kahkonen, Bonino, and Kevin Labanc. So let's jump into the noteworthy players now, and first on the list is Timo Meier, currently going at an ADP of 37.2, finished as the number 21 ranked fantasy player last year. Timo Meier is a volume shooter, so if your league gives a decent amount of value for shots on goal, draft him. Last year, he was third in the league in shots on goal, and this year, I'm expecting him to have another solid season. I have him ranked as the 15th best player, and he's currently going at an ADP of 37.2, so definitely some really good value there. Next, I have Erik Karlsson, currently going at an ADP of 141.3. Last year, finished as the 205th best fantasy player, which isn't particularly great, but with Burns gone, this helps Karlsson a decent amount, right? He's going to get more ice time, more power play time, and it means he's going to have a better finish this year. I think he's a decent selection in this draft range. At number 3, I have Tomas Hertl, currently going at an ADP of 157.6. Last year finished as the 97th best player in terms of fantasy points per game. He had a pretty solid finish last year, and I'm expecting another strong season from him. I have him in my top 100 forwards this year, but pretty low on the list because he is a natural center, so he does get dropped a little bit. I also don't think he's going to be playing that much with Timo Meier this year, so the upside from playing with Meier isn't really there, but I do think he's still going to have a really good year. He's pretty good value if you need a center in his range. At number 4, I have Logan Couture, currently going at AP of 169.8. Last year finished the 135th best fantasy player in terms of fantasy points per game. His value last year was very much dependent on whether he was playing with Meier. He played most of the season with Meier, although Meier ended up being moved onto Hertl's line for a little bit last year. If they play Meier with Hertl, I'm not super high on Couture, and Couture is a natural center, and although he is going pretty late, I'd prefer to avoid him this year just because of that dependency. Then I have Kahkonen and James Reimer going at ADPs of 170.7 and 180.3. I'm expecting Reimer and Kahkonen to split the starts pretty evenly this year in San Jose. They both make for good super late picks in categories leagues. In points-based leagues, I might try to draft both of these guys near the end of your drafts, since they'll likely each get around 50% of the starts this year. And if you want to guarantee yourself all the San Jose Sharks, you're going to want to grab both these guys, and they're going super late, so it's not like you're spending early round picks to grab 2 goalies. Next, I have rookie William Eklund, and I really like him as a rookie this year. He was included in my top 10 rookies video for the season, and he was at number 8. There's a legitimate chance that he sees top line and possibly even top power play time with Timo Meier. Obviously, that makes him pretty valuable. In super deep leagues, I would throw a dart at him with your last pick of the draft. Next is Mario Ferraro, only 7% roster, doesn't have an ADP right now, and last year finished the 347th best fantasy player in terms of fantasy points per game, which isn't particularly great. Now, Ferraro will more than likely be a top pairing defenseman this year alongside Erik Karlsson on the top pairing. While I don't expect his offensive numbers to go up too much, his main value is hits and blocks. If you really need those categories in a super deep league, you can take him with one of your last picks of the draft, like in a categories league or something like that. But I'd ignore him altogether in points-based leagues. And then last but not least, I have Alexander Barabanov, who's a left wing, right wing, so the dual position eligibility is nice, but last year finished the 337th best fantasy points in terms of fantasy points per game. I'm still projecting Barabanov as a top 6 forward this year for San Jose. Last year, he was a streamer. Like, he's someone you could pick up when San Jose had a favorable schedule, when they had a really good schedule in terms of off nights or something like that. But he's not someone that I'm super high on this year in terms of owning for the year. I'm expecting a similar situation this year. I'm not drafting him, but I will definitely consider streaming him at certain points during the season when San Jose has favorable schedules. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to take your support to the next level, you can follow me on Patreon. The link is down in the description below. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.